you can hear me. Hey, Marshall, I'm glad you're here. How's the sound? Can everybody hear me? It's the one thing I don't know if I'm getting right or not. And also, Marshall. All right. Okay, I made Marshall a mod. Okay, anybody hear me? Just let me know. All right, we have 4 people, 7 likes, and I still don't know if anybody can hear me. Hey, Wyoming Adventures, how you doing? Let's see who's in here. Hey, Neil McKenzie. Hey, Gareth. All right. Ground fog. I'm not sure exactly who's here, but I know Wyoming Adventures here. All right, good. You can Wyoming Adventures. You can hear me loud and clear. Things are good. That's the one thing I can't tell when I sign everything on. Hey, Marshall. Hold on, Wyoming Adventures. I'm going to make you a mod as well. All right. All right, good. That's what I want to know. So we're going to start off. I want to show you guys something. This is probably one of the knives that, well, we're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. Hey, Marissa. Hold on. Marissa, you are now a mod. Hey, Bushcraft Rebooted. How you doing, buddy? So tonight we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about one, obviously knives, because that's what we do. But I want to talk EDC flashlights as well. So we'll kind of bounce around. And so with that being said, let's start off with what you guys are carrying, because that I want to know. And then I will show you what I'm carrying today. Actually, I can't really show you what I'm carrying because I took it out of my pocket, but I have it in front of me on the table. So what's everybody carrying? Let's start there. And I will show you what I was carrying earlier. No, what I was carrying most recently tonight. And that knife that I was carrying most recently tonight was by 704 Gear. And this is their Wildcat. Oh, the harpoon's nice. And the helmet, I love Kaiser. Just a pew pew. Gotcha. Gotcha. So this, again, this is by 704 Gear, 704 Tactical. Everybody knows he has his own channel. This is one of his knives. And they make a great budget knife. This one I think is like $26.99, D2 steel, G10 handle, really nice size, decent jimping. 2 ways to deploy it. You've got your thumb hole there. You've got your flipper. Oh, you lost power. Sorry about that, Marissa. But yeah, Wyoming Ventures, they make a great value proposition. Reversible clip. I mean, really like their knives, and they really come really sharp out of the box, which I love. You know, but that's one of the ones that I was actually carrying today. I changed knives about halfway through the day after I produced the one video that I did it earlier. I did the short on the Civivi uh, Voltaic and Voltaic. I'm sorry, I always get that backwards. But oh, you like the lights? Thanks, Karina. Appreciate that. Yes, it is a nice beard. It's grown for a while, but I have to shave. I'm getting too scruffy. But not the beard. That's the thing. Hey, Todd Carr, how you doing, buddy? Todd, I'm going to make you a mod, possibly. If I can find the button. There we go. All right, excellent. So let's talk a fun knife for now, and that is this one. This one came to me courtesy of my friends at Legion Steel, Marissa and Marshall. This is the Wiener Warrior knife. As we can see, it looks like a hot dog. It's a Boker Kalashnikov. It's an automatic knife. It's a fun one. It's just a fun knife, and it's really cool because they rounded it like a hot dog, but there's no sharp edge to it. They never sharpened that. So I know I just missed somebody coming in. Hey, Brown Sugar, and hey, Hiking with Jackie Boy, how you doing? So this is, like I said, a fun knife. I actually had someone in the unboxing video say, you know, and I don't mean to rip on anybody, but I made me laugh because they're like, as a serious knife collector, that's just dumb. And I was like, well, one, this isn't a serious knife. This is a fun knife. This is something you add to your collection. It's a conversation piece. It's just fun. That's too many people forget. Not everything is serious in life. We have to have fun. To me, that's what it's all about. Fun. No matter what situation I'm in, I try to have fun, which drives my wife nuts at times because she says I can't take anything serious because I turn everything into a joke and laugh. But that's how I deal with things. I just try to make everything fun. But this is such a fun night. I'm so happy I won this because this goes right in the collection. And I have another Boker Kalashnikov, but this one is the manual opening drop point blade. This is not an automatic. I went with this one because technically in my state, automatic knives are illegal. So I decided to go this route, and I really like this one. This is a great knife. I mean, ergonomics, it just grips your hand perfectly. And it's got really nice jimping up here. This is a knife I've always loved. Hey Jay Sharp, how you doing? Absolutely, we got to have fun, Marissa. You know, but I've always liked this one. It's a D2 steel. It's a button lock, so it's fidgety as anything. Got the flipper. It doesn't have a thumb stud, which I wish it did, but otherwise, I really like this design. And I know why it doesn't have a thumb stud because originally this was an automatic knife, and they made this one for people who live in states like mine where automatic knives aren't supposed to be around. But this is a great knife, and this is a really, I mean, this knife you can get for $40, you know. And like I said, to me, it's a well-built knife and just fun to carry. So, so what else are we carrying? Anybody else carrying anything, or anybody get any new knives this week? That's what I want to know. I myself got a knife in that I'm only going to show you the box. And this came in from Best Techman. And this is one that they sent to me to review. It doesn't come out till February 28th. So at that point, um, I will be doing a review video on it. Actually, I'll be recording it soon. But yes, this is really great. You know, and this is the first one that a company sent me to review, and can't wait to. Actually, I took a peek at it before, and it really is a nice knife, and can't wait to get that out to everybody. So that's what I got new this week. Um, and Marshall, if you're here, I've got news for you. I got a concept goblin. I was able to orchestrate a trade for that one. So so now I finally have my first knife that's one of your designs. So I'm looking forward to getting that. That should be arriving Tuesday, I believe. So yeah, Marshall. I had to have one of your knives first before I buy the AS gear, which I know you still have to get around to doing, but a little couple of issues there, but yeah, absolutely. Hey Rolf, how you doing, buddy? So I want to show you a couple of knives that I bought for the sole purpose of I wanted to do shipwreck scales. And obviously you have to do the shipwreck finish on brass and copper. But I actually haven't done it yet, but I bought these two knives for that reason. And the first one is this one. This is the Gerber Affinity. And I don't have a lot of Gerber knives because over the years I know Gerber's quality isn't as good as it used to be. But I really like this knife. So now I'm torn because one, the copper is going to naturally patina without shipwrecking it, and I think it's going to look great. And this is just a nice looking blade, very pokey, very slicey, and it has the adjustable thumb stud right there. And what's interesting is it's a frame lock, but they did put this copper insert on the other side, so it's just really nice looking. Thanks, Wyoming Adventures. And again, I only have one other Gerber. It's one of the little para frames that I keep in my little one of those Altoid survival kits that I made that I keep in my car, and I have one in there. But that's really the only other Gerber I have. Other than I have some of their multi tools, like I have the suspension, which I really like a lot. But I don't know if I want to shipwreck this now because I like this so much just the way it is. You know? Yeah, Rolf, this is the Gerber Affinity, and it's a nice knife. You know, and it deploys very easy. Obviously, it does not have a reversible clip. I wish it did, but well, for me, it really doesn't matter. I'm not a lefty, but for people who are lefty, I wish it did have a clip for them. You know, but the other one I bought was a fixed blade. This is the Rough Rider Apta. This is in brass. It's a slip joint, two position lock, or yeah. This is by Rough Rider, and this knife I really like. Interesting blade shape, brass handles. It's a nice weight to it. But what's really great about this is that this, even though it's a slip joint, it's really hard to close that. So I have a tendency when I cut to choke up on the blade all the time. And this one, like I said, this one, I can put pressure on that and it's not going to close on my hand. It holds up really well. But this one, I'm going to do a video on shipwrecking the scales because this I think is going to look really good with that brass, you know. But yeah, it's a Rough Rider, and these are inexpensive too. I think this is like $14, and it's a really nice unit. Yeah, I have two of the dimes too. They go in, some here. Actually, let's see if I have one next to me. No, I don't. I build a lot of these little EDC pouches, and this one I don't think I have the diamond, but no, I don't have the diamond in this one. Oh, what I do have is the Gerbers. I have the Gerber, the other Gerber mini in there, and I have the Gerber Vice, which is a nice little multi-tool. So when you have a little mini kit like this, that's really small, these little pocket multi-tools really come in handy. Yeah, Marshall, the Shipwreck patina looks really great. You know, I absolutely love the way it looks, and the person I was watching Dan Kenman's channel, and yeah, and he does a lot of them, and I basically learned how to do it by watching his channel, and that's the great thing. I mean, and then I was talking to him, and I said to him, I was like, I hope you don't mind. I was like, I'm gonna do a video on it myself. I was like, because I, got some things I'd like to do, and he was like, yeah, go ahead. And that's what I was talking about earlier in your live stream. The knife community is so much friendlier and so much nicer than the guitar community. So, in the guitar community, every builder, every person who has a guitar thinks they know everything there is to know about guitars. And they make everything into a competition, and it doesn't need to be, you know. Um, so that's why I love this community. Yeah, the knife community is amazing. Wyoming Adventures. I mean, like I said, I basically jumped into the knife community back in September of last year. I made the decision to switch from motorcycle content to knife content because I've always loved knives and EDC stuff, and it kind of runs parallel with what I was doing with the motorcycle because the motorcycle was motorcycle camping type of stuff. So it kind of blends together, and there will be more motorcycle content. It's not totally getting away from that, but I'm gonna merge that with my EDC. So I'm gonna be doing some motorcycle camping videos once the weather gets better here in the Northeast. Yeah, Rolf, Kemen does put out all his work. Todd Carr, you're gonna love the PowerPoint. That's my main multi-tool that I carry is the PowerPoint. Although I do switch it out. And like today, I have a Leatherman on me. This is the Leatherman Sidekick. But usually, the PowerPoint is probably what I carry 85% of the time. It's a little lighter. and it's a little smaller than the Leatherman, and I just find it works really well. Yeah, I mean, like my thing is like I'm 54 years old. I've had knives since I was a kid. I don't know if I told this story or not, but I bought my first knife when I was like 12 years old. I went into a little corner store in Brooklyn, New York, and bought it. And at the time, I wasn't allowed to have knives, so I kind of hid it from my parents. And I've been hooked on knives ever since. And then when I turned 18, my parents gave me my first real knife, um, which was the Swiss Army Champion, which was the predecessor to the Swiss Champ that we have out now. And I've had that knife forever, and that is one of my two favorite knives in my collection. The other being this one that I'm going to show you now. This is K-Bar U.S. Marine Corps knife. This was my dad's knife. This knife, I can't tell you how old it is. I really don't know, but I've had it. He's passed away now 20 years. I've had it since he passed away, and I don't know how long he had it before. It still has the original sheath, you know, and I really don't use this knife. I don't plan to use it because I don't want anything to happen to it because it was my dad's knife. But this is one of the other favorite knives in my collection, and I have to keep looking over it because it's such a damn big knife, you know. So, and I don't know if I, like I said, I don't think I'm ever really going to use this. It's going to stay just part of the collection, because it really has a lot of sentimental value to me. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you do just need a smaller plier head. Absolutely. Todd, you're absolutely right with that. You know, yeah, Marshall, and I don't know if he ever actually used it. Like I said, it was his. Um, Interesting story. My dad was actually in the Navy, but served with a Marine battalion as a fleet Marine. Um, so that's where he acquired it. But yeah, he was in the Navy. He was a corpsman, and he served with the battalion Marines. That's a fleet Marine. It was and he was actually stationed on the USS Intrepid. So yes, you absolutely, Bushcraft. You are correct. It's not a safe queen. It's an heirloom, 100%. You know, um, yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, like I said, it's just a beautiful knife. You know, Speaking of beautiful knives, let's move on to another one that I really like. This one is this one is the SOG, and I always forget the model on this one. So hold on while I take a peek at that. Yes, this is the SOG Aegis. This is the Aegis AT. This is a spring-assisted knife. It has a safety on here, which is interesting. So you can't deploy it while that safety's on. So you have to open the safety, which is not one of my favorite things, but yes, I did know that, Marshall. Absolutely. So again, this is the SOG. This is the Aegis AT. I love the colorway on this. Now it may not be coming across on camera, but that's almost like a darker teal with the yellow. I don't know how the colors are affecting it, especially under that lighting. But I put the yellow line on because it matched all the yellow hardware on there. And this is just a sick knife. I mean, it's got their version of a crossbar lock. Um, sorry. I was reading what Todd was writing to Wyoming Adventures. I thought he was talking to me. I was like, I'm not sure what that is. So yeah, I like SOG stuff. I mean, obviously they make a lot of budget stuff. This one was not a budget knife. Um, Actually, I think this one is priced a little too high for what it is, but it's a great knife. You know, the only thing is that you're not gonna one hand close it because it's spring assisted. It pops out of there like instantly. But this is a knife I really like. You know, But let's close that up and then put the safety on it. I understand why they have the safety because it is a spring assisted and you don't want it opening in your pocket. So that's actually a nice safety feature, but I don't know, you know. So let's look at something else. And this is one that I like a lot. And my wife got me this one for Christmas, and I kind of fell in love with it. This is the Kershaw Mini Iridium, but it's got that light blue anodized aluminum with the gold, almost bronze colored hardware. And it's the first time getting to play properly. But this is just a great knife. I mean, everybody knows about the Iridium, and this is the smaller version. And I just love this one for the colors. Like I said, my wife gave me this one for Christmas. Gareth, I don't know. I mean, I guess potentially you could bump the safety in your pocket, but it's not easy. It's not like you have to actually press down. It clicks into place. I don't know if you can hear it, but that clicks. And you have to give it like a hard push. It just doesn't flick open very easy. So I haven't had it to, go off my pocket. So, you know, but again, going back to this one, just the Kershaw Mini Iridium, and I just love this one, you know, and it's actually, I wear an extra large glove. I don't have a giant hand, but I have a big enough hand, and actually I can fit 4 fingers there because of the way it's shaped. And it does have excellent jimping here. And this is slicey, really sharp out of the box too. And it's got their version of the crossbar lock that works really well. So, you can always do you know, without using the thumb, so you can always just open and close it using the lock mechanism. So, yeah, Wyoming Adventures, yeah, that's the thing. They don't have a safety on the Bokers. So, you know, I would be afraid of it opening too. Yeah, Marshall, I really do like the Kershaws. Hey, level on up. How are you doing, buddy? No, you didn't distract me, Gareth. I don't mind. This is what we're all about. We're about interacting. So, if you have comments, feel free. You're not distracting. Actually, you're helping. So, so another knife that I really like that I'm going to show you, and then we're going to switch up a little bit, is this one. This is the QSP Osprey, and this has the shredded carbon scale. So it's red and let's see if I get some light on that. Let's see if that helps. I don't know if you can see, but it's got that red shredded carbon in there. It's a really beautiful knife. It is, it's got the wire clip on there that is reversible, which is really nice. I like wire clips. I know some people don't. It's a flipper, but that flipper tag is very small. It's not a pocket poker really, and it deploys really nice. And that blade shape is just really something. And I think it's a 154 steel. I don't think it's a 14. Nope, I'm sorry. It's a 14C28. It's not a 154. But yeah, I really like this one. Again, nice feel in the hand, really good jimping. I'm a guy who really likes jimping, and I like jimping where your finger grabs it and doesn't slide. I have a couple of knives where you put your finger and it's like the jimping's non-existent. They're too slick. Chantel Lewis, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. So that, and this is also a knife that's very well priced, by the way. Again, this is the QSP Osprey, and just a really good knife. So I have this love of flashlights, which I know we talked about before, but one of my newer flashlights is this one. This is the Workos HD01, and this one has your laser in it. Let's point that at the camera and annoy everybody. It's got your laser, what's nice is you can actually shine the laser and the light at the same time. So if you're pointing out something in the distance, like say behind me on that wall, I can also do the light and have the laser shine. So if I'm pointing something out, I can point with the laser and the light at the same time. So it also has this side light. Uh, let's see if I can remember how to do it. Yes, you got that side light there as well that could work as a work light. You can go through different colors on there. So it's just kind of a fun light, and it does have a magnetic back, so you can stick it to, your knife, use it as a work light type of thing. And it's got multicolors on here, 3 different power levels. What's nice is if you double click it, it'll automatically go into turbo mode. So it's like 1, 2, boom, it's in turbo. This is 1200 lumens. This is a nice little one, and these are not expensive at all. These are under $30, and it has your two-way clip, so you can use a belt clip, or you can use it as a light on your hat. Which I know, like when I go to do this, it's not going to work because the clip is still new. But yeah, you can do that with it. You know, I will say though, all these double clips that go on the bill of your hat, they're kind of heavy, so they do pull your hat down a little bit. That's just like my Arcfeld Pro. Does the same thing. But actually, I think the Workos weight wise, no, the Workos is probably a little bit lighter. It's a little bit smaller in factor too. But I really like that. These are some of my favorite EDCs. And like I said, this was very new to me, but I've already really fallen for it. I like it. I've added to not the flashlight rotation. The other one is the Wubin E7. That's become part of the flashlight rotation. Obviously, and actually, this one, I think I told you guys, this is the light that saved my life. This is the Olight Baton Turbo. And I told you the story last week about how there was a truck coming around the bend. It was completely in the dark, and I had to instantly shine this at the truck so he would see me, and he was able to swerve and miss me at the last minute while I was going to my mailbox to check the mail. So now this is an inexpensive flashlight that I really like to carry, and this is the Through Night Saber. I mean, these things regularly wind up being on sale on Amazon for like $10. And again, it's got your two-way clip. It actually has, it actually comes with a rechargeable AA battery. So you can't really beat it. I mean, $10, like I said, it's not $10 generally, but they go on sale so often for $10. You can't beat it, you know. And it's not a bright flash. I think it's only like 400 lumens or something. But I mean, this is just a great, really lightweight carry, you know. And then of course I have the Olight Clip Pro. This is the new one, the Pro, which I really like as well. You know, yeah. When Throughlight makes some really good stuff and not expensive. I find them to be very affordable, high quality. You know, they are a less expensive option than Olight. But I'm not gonna lie, I am an Olight fanboy, and I love everything Olight and O Knife. Speaking of which, let's talk about another O Knife. This is the O Knife Metal. These G10 handles with that nice, I don't know what you want to call it, design in there, but it actually helps with the grip. It's a button lock, very fidgety, very sharp blade. This one is, hmm, yeah, this is 154 cm. Hey, Ron Dobbins, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. Really glad you're here. So this is one that I think O Knife really did a good job, and I believe Kaiser is the OEM on this. I think Kaiser is the OEM on all their knives, with the exception of the new one that came out, the Zen, and I think that's their own in-house. But yeah, I really like this, and you know, as I told you guys before, my knives never look like they're being worn out because I literally use a different knife every day and I rotate them through. And I have some that are in the rotation more than others. Um, but I try not to carry the same knife 2 days in a row, not because, you know, because I don't like my knives, but I like knives in general, and I kind of get bored with things very quickly. It's one of the problems I've always had my whole life. I get bored very easy, so I like to change it up. You know, I'm going to show you one now that I really like. This is the Civivi Mini Praxis, but you'll notice it has red scales. Doesn't come with red scales. I bought these off of Etsy. A guy 3D printed these. You're not gonna be able to tell on camera. These have a nice little texture on them, and I wanted this to be different than everybody else's Civivi Mini Praxis. So I put the red scales on there, and as I told you guys before, I love to tinker with things. And the Mini Praxis is just a great, amazing budget knife. Less than $30. It's got great ergos. It's got that nice choil where you could just choke up in there. You fit your finger in there. You can get every finger on there. You know, and it's got again amazing jimping on here. And it's just your standard drop point blade. You know, and this one is 14C28N, I believe. So it's a decent, budget steel. You know, yes, Ron. Everybody hit thumbs up. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate that. But I don't know. What do you guys think of the red? What do you guys think of the red scales on that? It had originally the olive green, which I've got a million knives with olive green and black. So I did want again make this stand out from everybody else's. By the way, this is a really if you're looking for an affordable EDC knife that you can use every day, this is the one, the Mini Praxis, and you don't even have to go far to get one. They now sell this in Walmart. So Civivi stepped into Walmart, and I've checked. It's exactly the same as the one I ordered this one originally from Civivi. Yep. Up. And yeah, Ron, what that is that's literally, I got that at a dollar store. It's just like a disco light that projects. But I think it's not going to hold up too much longer. I think the batteries might be dying. I'm not sure. Yeah, Todd, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That is something they should have done. Oh, okay, Gareth. So you're getting one of these from Jimmy Crow. That's awesome. Very good. You're gonna like it. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but you're really gonna like that. So I've got a bunch of knives here in front of me, but again, so the people who have just joined in, came in lately, what are you guys carrying? Just want to know. Um, I got to show you guys some stuff too. That is not necessarily knives, but is knife adjacent. So for the longest time, I used to use the Kershaw knife oil, and then, as you guys know, I won the Slick 'em All in one of the giveaways that I was lucky enough to win. And I find this stuff to be amazing. And it's got that precision applicator on there, which really makes it easy to use. So that's something I've been using. Um, I have never actually used KPL, and I know a lot of people do. I don't know what you guys are using. Oh, you have the Mini Praxis in Ultim, huh? Yeah, Todd, that's what I'm finding. I'm finding absolutely the original XL. I have the Kaiser original. I don't have the XL, and I thought about getting it because it's a great knife, and I think it's discontinued now, but they're still readily available. So I've thought about getting one of those for a while. You, Okay, use hoppy oil. And by the way, I'm going to show you another great product. The people who have D2 blades, the D2 blade steel, and this is EDCI. It's a blade cleaner and protectant. This is will help fight any type of corrosion. I don't know if you guys have ever used it. I've actually used this on a lot of my knives that have D2. It is also food safe, so you don't have to worry about it. Like I said, I eat an apple every day for lunch. Oh, not for lunch, but as a snack prior to lunch, and I use my EDC knives to cut it because in my office, in my they have terrible, terrible, terrible knives for cutting. They've got these knives that have probably been in that office for 20 years and they're all dull. So I just cut everything with my EDC knives. So and with that being said, I don't have to worry because this is food safe. This is the EDCI uh, cleaner and protectant. Shooter's loop. Okay. Yeah, this is from back in my days when I was into MMA very heavily. There was a time where I was actually thinking about training MMA, and then my knees decided, no, you have really two bad knees. It's not wise to do. But yeah, I still have a lot of these nice MMA shirts. Yeah, I like the frag. I like the original XL with the frag grip. I think they're great. You know, frag grips are really good. I only have one knife that's got a frag grip, and believe it or not, it's a $10 Ganzo knife that came out last year, and I actually had it in one of my videos about budget knives that I really like. So thank you, Agent Steel. Definitely stab the like button. And if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please feel free. I'd appreciate it. We hit 760 subscribers just on Valentine's Day, and I want to try and get to 800. I mean, hell, eventually I want to get to 10,000, but starts with a single sub and keeps going. But yeah, the Sheepdog XL is a really nice knife. Okay, so I ordered a Sheepdog a while back, and when I got it, I didn't realize I had ordered the one that's just a slip joint. It's the one that they made for the European audience. And I had that problem where I would put my thumb up there, choke up, and it was closing on my hand. And I realized, no, I got to send this back. So I actually wound up sending it back and getting a different knife. But I love the blade shape. I love the handle on that sheepdog. But like I said, the one that I had was the slip joint. And again, if I like to choke up on my knives, and I was kept continually closing it, and I felt like I was just going to really cut myself really bad with it. You know. Hey, Jim Cox, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you here. So, so I realized like with slip joints, I have to be careful. Again, going back to like this Rough Rider, this one really has a lot of resistance. I don't feel like I'm gonna, you know, like it's gonna close on my hand when I use it if I choke up on it. But that sheepdog slip joint was really bad. It just felt like anytime you just touched it, you wanted to fold up on my hand. So, so on my channel, I've done two videos, basically three videos about everybody's favorite knife that broke the internet, the Ozark Grail. And on this one, I put a lanyard on it that's longer than the knife, but it kind of looks all right. This is a knife that, 10 bucks, everybody wanted it. Walmart sold out. People were selling it for 30, $40 on eBay. It was crazy. I had the original one, and now this is the newer one where they updated it. They made the clip reversible. I have been lucky. The two of them that I have are perfectly centered. The action's really good. The access lock works really well, and I have no complaints with it. It's D2. Obviously, I've seen the tests people have done. The D2 is not very well heat treated, so it dulls very easy. But realistically, this is a knife I'm only opening letters with, cutting tape on boxes, maybe some string once in a while. This is not something I would take out like if I was going hiking or anything like that where I was going to hard use it. But this is a fun knife. I mean, for $10, you want to throw it in your glove box and have a cheap knife. You want to give one away as a gift to somebody who's just getting into knives. It's not a bad knife. It really isn't. And I was carrying this one tonight. It's really funny because, like I said, I've done videos that have 7,000 and 9,000 views because it was this knife. And then I've done videos on other knives that I think should have much bigger reaction, and I'm getting like 200 views. So I thought to myself, hey, let's put out a short. Let's carry this and put out a short on it and see how many hits I get. Well, I guess the sensation or the fad is over because very few people watched it. You know, that lanyard came from oh, Knife Center, I believe. They had these on a clearance. It's made by Concept, but they had these on clearance, and I originally had it on an SE knife that I had, and I was like, wow, this matches perfect with this knife. I was like, so I took it off the SE and put it on here, and I added that's a glow bead that glows in the dark, so like you can hit that with the UV light and it's going to glow. The glow on these doesn't last very long. It'll glow for like a minute or two, but these are cheap. I bought these like in a pack of like 50 for like $2 off of Amazon. There are much better glow beads out there, but I still think it kind of looks cool. You know, anybody else have one of these? Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I always say all the time, this is a knife that if you broke it, it's $10. You wouldn't care. If you lost it, you wouldn't care. If somebody stole it from you, you might care, but it's not the worst thing in the world that could happen. Yep, absolutely. If anybody hasn't been to Bushcraft Bootage channel, he has some great content there, and he also does some great live streams. Go check him out. Seriously, he does some fun stuff. I enjoy hanging out in his lives. Although I know Bushcraft, you were live yesterday, and I couldn't stay awake. I saw you were on, and I was just like, I can't. I'm just gonna fall asleep. So I didn't jump in, but I did see you were doing it, and sorry I couldn't be there. I usually like to hang out in your lives. Yes, Sheer the Seer. I am a Gemini. How the heck did you know that? Oh, no problem, Bushcraft. I only speak the truth. If I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it. You know, you do a great job with that. I like I said, I love hanging out, and I've learned a lot, especially about the skydiving world. Lance Werrimy. Hey, I'm also a Lance, so that's awesome. We have two Lances in the house. That doesn't happen a whole hell of a lot. So welcome aboard, Lance. Okay. That's you could tell from my eyes. What I don't know if you could see, but my eyes are a combination of green and blue. So depends on the day. Sometimes they look more green, sometimes they look more blue. A lot has to do with depending on the light around me, you know. But yeah, yes, Lance, we do have an uncommon name, and I don't know what you. My dad and my mom were big football fans, and there was a player who played for the San Diego Chargers who's in the NFL Hall of Fame. His name was Lance Allworth, and that's who I was named after. So, oh, I appreciate that, Sheer, the seer. Absolutely. I do appreciate you subbing and liking. 100%. And stay along because we're going to have some fun. You know. All right. Wyoming Adventures. That's going to get confusing if everybody says hello to Lance and I think you're all talking to me. So going forward, even though I'm Lance, just call me Adventure 50 and leave Lance to Lance. That's all. We'll go that way. Oh, man. So, all right. Anybody want to hear a bad dad joke? Well, I'm going to tell it anyway, whether you want to hear the bad dad joke or not. Anybody know the difference between a hippo and a zippo? Well, a hippo is big and heavy. A zippo is just a little lighter. Wah, 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 wah. So, all right, let's move on to another knife that I have here. Um, and this is the CJRB Shale. This knife came out last year, and I thought it was one of the contenders for budget knife of the year. And of course, I picked the most gaudy color that you could get. This teal, not that the teal's, it's more of an aqua. It's an aqua with orange. Looks like the Miami Dolphins colors. And if anybody knows, I'm sorry, you people down in Florida, there's no team I hate more in the world than the Miami Dolphins. So, but I do love the knife. And then I threw the orange lanyard on there. And this is a beautiful knife. It's a crossbar lock, thumb stud. It's kind of, it's a drop point, maybe, but it's also got a little bit of a harpoon right here. And this is a knife that is a decent size. It's not a giant knife. It's not a small knife. Really good for EDC. Great jimping. The action on this is really great. CJRB, I think, puts out some amazing knives, and this is one of them. And by the way, this is textured. This is really grippy. You know, the clip is reversible. This is just a grippy knife. My only problem with this knife is I think for what it is, it's about $10 more than they should have priced it because they make other knives that they sell that are less money than this that I think are just as good. But if you like the styling on this, they have this in a range of colors. I just went for the most gaudy one because, you know, I sometimes, you know, like things that are bright, colorful. You know, it's my kind of personality, you know, and this is just a fun knife. And again, this thing, it just pops out there. It has a great sound to it. I like the coated blade. I'm actually more, if you notice in my collection, it's pretty balanced between coated and uncoated blades, but I have a tendency to like black coated blades, whether it's PVD coating, DLC coating. I just always like the look better. I don't know, maybe it's because I like tactical type of stuff, you know, and from my hiking and camping days, you know. Marissa, yes, it's I don't know if it's quite teal or an aqua. It's kind of like in between, but yes, this is, for you, this would be perfect. Absolutely. And it is beautifully, you know, shuts beautifully. It's just a great knife. And again, CGRB is killing it with some of the stuff they've done, whether it be that, the mini pyrite, um, you know. So going back, oh, you want to see something really cool? And I don't have the link, unfortunately, available, but I got to show you these pens. I'm a person who likes his pens. And these pens are EDC pens that are 3D printed by a 14-year-old boy. His dad owns a pen company, and he decided he was going to 3D print these pens. And they're different designs. And like this one just rotates. It's really fun. This one is another rotating style. And it's got like that skeletonized print. And it's even those 3D printed, these are solid. Like I can squeeze on that without breaking it. Then there's this one, which kind of reminds me of an actual skeleton because of the color. And again, twist. And then the last one, and you buy these in a set. I think the set is like $15 to maybe $20. And this one is a bolt action, but it's a double bolt action because you can use the bolt to deploy it and unengage it or disengage it, or you can just use, you know, yep, you can use the tab on top. So I'll find a link for these and I'll put it on up in the description later on after this video goes up. I will link these. But these pens are great, and you know, I just want to. Oh, they're made by a company. Well, they're called Merit 3D, and like I said, it's a young kid who makes them, and you know they include a letter, like a handwritten thank you letter when you order them. You know, and again, yeah, the company's Merit 3D. I don't know if you can see that on there, but these are fun pens. And I like my pens. I'm one of those guys. I actually, if you go back to my channel, I did a video on some of the best inexpensive um, EDC pens you can get. And like I said in that video, you don't have to spend $100 to get a really good EDC pen. Go check out that video if you like EDC pens and you don't want to spend a lot of money. That video will help you immensely. I promise. I promise on that. So recently, the heat in my car broke. I have to get a chance to work on it. I think it's the thermostat, but it was like 15 degrees when I left for work the other day, and it was freezing in my car. I have this little plug-in portable heater that I plug into it, but I want to show you something that's been saving my life, and that's these stupid things. Ozark Trail hand warmers. They they're great. They have a built-in um, they work as a power bank, but they also work as a flashlight, and they have 3 levels of heat on these hand warmers, and they are phenomenal. And these $10, that's all they are. And you can again, you can use it as a battery bank to charge your phone. Just you run the USB out, and these work great. Like I said, this has been a lifesaver for me. And like I said, until I fix my heat in my car, and like if that's not going to happen, we're getting like 7 inches of snow right now, so there's going to be no time or a chance to work on it because I don't have a garage, unfortunately. So I'll continue to be driving around without heat for the next few weeks. Yeah, Wyoming Ventures, these are great too because, wow, like I said, I do a lot of hiking and whatnot. Throwing these, and they're light, they're not very heavy. Throwing one of these in the back, in my pack works great too because you just don't know. These come in very handy. Like I said, I just really like this. I like this one in particular. I have another one that does not have a light, and that's by some other company that works really well. Does the same thing, but this one does have an emergency flashlight, which is just a great feature. You can't beat it. So, if anybody, I'm gonna show you guys something cool. So real quick. So every Valentine's Day for the last 10 years, I get my wife a gold coated rose. So these are real roses that are hand dipped in gold, 24 karat gold, right? And I get her one of these, and we have a big bouquet going. But these come with this little stand that you put the rose in, and it kind of sits like this. We don't use them because we have a vase, and we're going for 12. So until we get to 12, each Valentine's Day, I buy her one of these, and these are absolutely beautiful. And they come in all different colors and whatnot, and you know. So with that being said, I found a use for these stands, and that use is as a knife display. For instance, you put that puppy right there. So now I've got because every year that we buy the rose, they send one of these with the rose. So I've got like 12 of these. So I'm thinking about once I get my office room cleaned up and move in there permanently and start doing all the live streams, I'm thinking of putting these all on a shelf to display some of my favorite knives. So, night, Neil. Have a great one. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So I don't know, what do you guys think? It's pretty cool, right? You know, stands right on there, and they fit perfectly. Like again, they were made for the gold dip roses, but I really like the way it looks. By the way, as you guys can tell, I am all over the map. I like to jump around from subject to subject. You know, it's always been me. It's just my kind of high energy. Yeah, Ron, like I said, I looked at it and I was like, what can I use it for? And I was like, because my wife was like, we should throw this away. And I was like, no, I have an idea for them. So that worked great. Um, you know, so yeah, that's something I use. And I'm going to show you guys another knife. This is a cheap $5 Ozark Trail fixed blade knife. These came out around Christmas time, And I actually really like this. I don't know what the steel is. It's probably like a 440A if I had to guess. But it's got a great ergonomic handle. It's kind of rubberized here, so it really is grippy. Great jimping. Tanto blade, which I love Tantos. They are like I said, one of my top three blade shapes. I love a Tanto, I love a drop point, and I love a worn clip. Those are my three favorite blade shapes. So $5, decent size. Again, another knife that you could beat on, not worry about it. Really sharp. I did the paper cut test with it, and I'm sure this would hold up. It is a full tang, definitely a full tang, and you know, it's got the red accents. It's just a pretty looking knife. And this was $5 at Christmas time. I don't know if they're still available in any of the Walmarts, but I was like, that's great. Now, the sheath is pretty cheap. It's just a cheap plastic, and the clip is built in, and the clip does hold tight, but you can't scout carry with it, you know, and it doesn't really work well in the pocket, but it does lock well on a belt. I will say that. So, but man, for $5, and what's great is you've got the little thumb push there, so you're taking it out, you can just push and then get it right out of there, and it actually locks in really well. You know, like I said, $5. I can't believe how cheap they are making knives today that are actually function and usable. You know, I mean, is it the best knife in the world? No. Is the fit and finish the best? No, but it's not bad for the price. Why not? You know, it goes with all my other knives in the collection. But yeah, so I don't know what everybody thinks. Good night, Todd. By the way, I have made it through like almost an hour now without having any coffee. And like I told you guys, America runs on Dunkin' and I run on coffee. Yeah, I absolutely run. Got that at Walmart. I walked in at Christmas time and they had a display of them. And I bought quite a few of those knives that were all $5. I bought every one of them. I was like, why not? They're $5. I was like, and I bought multiples. And next Saturday, if everybody joins me, there's going to be a giveaway. I'm going to put up a giveaway video this week for everybody to comment on. And then next week we're gonna have a giveaway. And I've got some knives, some Ozark Trail knives, and I've got a Send cut that I'm going to be putting in the giveaway, as well as some swag stuff. So hopefully everybody joins me next week because we're going to have that giveaway finally. That was actually supposed to be the 500 subscriber giveaway, and maybe at this pace it'll be the 800 subscriber. Yeah, Drago. Hey, Dragoon, thanks for being here, man. You know, and yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, like I said, not the greatest knife ever, but it's $5. I mean, you can't really go wrong. Like I said, you can gift them. I'm going to use some of the giveaway. Again, I have a Send cut that's going to go with it. So as I'm sitting here, because we've got that bad storm going on, I'm using my phone to film this, and I keep getting weather advisories across the top, and we apparently have high wind advisories on top of the snow and ice advisory. So it should be a fun day tomorrow. Hey, help with gadgets. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were here. Well, actually, I did. I think I said hello before, maybe not. But have a good night, buddy. Appreciate it. You know. So, oh, and the one I wanted to show everybody, I totally forgot about. The North Mountain Blades Chop 2. This is a great knife. And this one aggravates me. You know why it aggravates me? Because it's such a damn good knife. And this is no exaggeration. I had this for about 2 months before I even saw a video on YouTube about it, and I never bothered to make a video. And now everybody's made a video. But I legitimately had this before anybody. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like all of a sudden I started seeing these videos, and then by the time I was going to film a video, I was like, man, everybody's put out a video on this already. But this is a sensational, sensational knife. I love this thing. The blade shape. And this is a Japanese Tanto. For people who don't know the difference, the Japanese Tanto has a curve on the front, where the American Tanto is a straight angular cut. So you can kind of see the difference right there. But this is another one. Button deployment, smooth. I mean, the action is beautiful on this. And it's not a Damascus, but it is a layered steel, which is why that blade looks like that, you know, and does not have a reversible clip. So lefties, I'm sorry, they don't like you, but a great knife. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It's slicey. It's extremely sharp. The thing about this one was I'm a bargain hunter, and when I was first on their site, they had these knives, and they had a bunch that were blends. They were marked half price. They were $40. And I went over this with a fine tooth comb. The only thing I could see is that there was a slight scuff right here. And you can't even really see it. You have to be really looking for it. But that was the only thing wrong with it. And they sold it, guaranteed it as new. They just said that you're going to get some, minor scuffing. And they didn't have pictures of them individually. When I got it, I was like, wait, what do I care? I'm going to put this in the pocket and use it. It's going to get scuffs naturally. I'm going to handle it. I didn't care. So this was $40. They usually sell for 80. So I got it for half price. And so, North Mountain Blades, go to their site periodically and look, because I've noticed from time to time they've had these on sale where they've had blends. And like I said, the damage on the handle was so minimal. It made it a great buy, you know. And like I said, I love the shape of this. Now, this is one of those knives I referred to earlier. It has jimping, but that jimping is very ineffective. My hand just slides. The only way it holds is if I put my thumbnail in the jimping, and that'll help it from sliding. But otherwise, it's very smooth jimping, and I don't. The only thing I don't like. So, Ron, you have a great night, and really, thank you for coming along. I appreciate it. You know, so that's again the North Mountain Blades Chop 2. And when you get this, they send it in a hard shell. Well, I shouldn't say that. When I got this, it came with a hard shell case, and it actually came with blade oil, polishing cloth. They put a Band-Aid in there, and it had a whole bunch of other stuff. Really great packaging that it came in. Although I think now they send you everything with that, but they still don't send it with the hard shell case anymore. They send it with one of the um, canvas cases. The ones that everybody uses, Civivi and every other company they use. Those knife cases. The ones we all have 100 of that we never really use. We just throw them in a box. Those. But all right, it's been just over an hour. I think I'm going to wrap up because it is 2 in the morning here in New Jersey. And I do appreciate everybody stopping by. Like I said, watch out this week. I'm going to have some new videos up. Obviously, every day I try to post a short with what I'm carrying. And I'm going to put up a video for everybody to comment on, which is going to be the giveaway video. And then next week in the live, we're going to use the comment picker and pick a winner for our first contest. So, like I said, there'll be a send cut. I'll show what that is next week. There'll be some Ozark Trail. So it's going to be a nice little giveaway. So thanks, Bushcraft Rebooted. And thanks, Wyoming Adventures. I really appreciate everybody who came in, took the time. Wes, have a good night, and thanks. I'm sorry I didn't notice you came in, but hello and now goodbye. I appreciate it. So, all right, everybody. Like I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp. Good night, everybody.